Hello and welcome learners. In this session we will discuss the problems on topic hardness of water. So let's get started. So in this session we will solve the previous year problems of JEE Mains, AIEEE and some problems from JEE Advanced. So here is our first question. This is from 2003 AIEEE. So the question is saying which one of the following process will produce hard water. So as we know that hard water is produced by bicarbonates of calcium and sulfates and chlorides of calcium and magnesium. Only these ions are responsible for the hardness of water. Here it is, this option A is saying carbonate. No, it don't make water hard. And here we have sulfate of calcium. Yes, this is responsible for hardness of water, or I should say permanent hardness of water, because as we know that bicarbonate ion make water temporary hard and sulfate and chloride salts make water permanently hard. They cause permanent hardness basically. So our correct option is C. Saturation of water with CaSO4 will make the water hard, and more appropriately it make the water permanently hard. So our next question is from 2015 mains online and 10 April. So this question is saying permanent hardness in water cannot be cured by boiling, ion exchange method, Kelvin's method, treating with washing soda. So okay, some guys may take this option, treating with washing soda, but washing soda actually cure both permanent and temporary hardness. It is used for removing permanent as well as temporary hardness, and these ion exchange and Kelvin's method are specifically for permanent hardness, and boiling is only for temporary hardness. So boiling can't cure permanent hardness, so our option is A. Let's move on to another question. So this is a pretty good numerical. It says the molecular formula of a commercial resin used for exchanging ions in water softening is C8H7SO3Na. So basically it is a resin, and we are removing hardness from water by using resin's method, which is mentioned in NCERT in chapter hydrogen. This is a resin. What would be the maximum uptake of Ca2 plus ion by the resin when expressed in mole per gram resin? So question is saying what is the maximum uptake of Ca2 plus if 1 gram of resin is used. So 1 gram resin can acquire how much Ca2 plus ion. So if you don't know the reaction is somewhat like this: C8H7SO3Na. There is a positive charge, there is a negative charge. It is an ionic compound of the form RNA. Okay, this is the general formula for resin, and we react with calcium ion present in the hard water, which react with this resin and gives us the product CaR2, and in this way we remove the Ca2 plus ion from the sample of water, and as a byproduct we get 2Na plus ion 2. So our question is saying if I use 1 gram of this resin, then how much Ca2 plus get removed from how mole Ca2 plus ion get removed from the sample of water. Okay, if I balance this reaction, here come 2. Okay, so if I balance this reaction, this is how it looks like. And now from the stoichiometry we can say that 2 mole of this C8H7SO3Na is consuming 1 mole of Ca2 plus. Now molecular formula of this resin is given here. 206. So 2 mole means 2 into 206 gram of this resin, which will uptake 1 mole Ca2 plus ion. So what amount of Ca2 plus ion will be uptaken by 1 gram resin? So if I take 1 gram resin, then by unitary method we get 412 mole Ca2 plus ion. So then our answer is option number B. Okay, so this is the fourth question, and here there is the match where we have to match the items from column 1 to column 2, and only this option 2 is of our concern, because magnesium carbonate, we know that it causes temporary hardness, and so this option number 2 must match with D, and the only option in which 2 is matching with D is option number C here. So in this way we can eliminate all other options, and so our answer is option number C. The other options I am not discussing because these are not on the topic hardness of water. Here in this video we are concerned about only hardness of water. So let's discuss our fifth question. Fifth question is from 2019 mains, 9 January, and shift 2. So it is a very simple question. The temporary hardness of water is due to, we all know that temporary hardness is only due to bicarbonate compounds. So the answer is obviously option number C. Now let's move on to our question number 6. Okay, so this is a numerical, and it says the hardness of water sample in terms of equivalent of CO3 containing 10 raised to power minus 3 molar CaSO4 is. Okay, so we can express hardness due to any salt in terms of CaCO3 by using this concept that actually molar mass of CaCO3 is 100, and here molar mass of CaSO4 is given 136, and from the gram equivalent concept that we have studied in the theory, that molar mass 100 gram when expressed in ppm, when we take 10 raised to power 6 parts of water, but basically 100 ppm means 100 gram of salt in 10 raised to power 6 gram of solution. So I am taking considering sample in 10 raised to power 6 gram, then 100 ppm of CaCO3 is equivalent to 136 ppm of CaSO4. Okay, now we can express all the salts. For example, if we have the salt calcium chloride and its molar mass is 111, then we can say that this is equivalent to 111 ppm of CaCl2. But here in this given problem we are given only calcium sulfate salt, so we have to convert this calcium sulfate's hardness in terms of CaCO3. So let's convert this molar concentration into ppm concentration. So 10 raised to power minus 3 molar CaSO4 implies 10 raised to power minus 3 mole of CaSO4 in 1 liter solution. Okay, now, and 10 raised to power minus 3 mole implies weight of CaSO4 is 10 raised to power minus 3 into molar mass 136 gram. So which is equal to 136 milligram. Okay, one thing you must also know that milligram per liter is same in magnitude as ppm. So these are basically equal. Okay, this is a very important expression which will make the problem to solve faster and easily. So 136 gram of CaSO4 is present in 1 liter solution. So we can say that concentration of CaSO4 is 136 milligram per liter, which is equal to 136 ppm of CaSO4. Okay, now, and we mentioned that 136, this is molar mass of CaSO4, this is molar mass of CaCO3. Molar mass ppm of CaSO4 is equivalent to molar mass ppm of CaCO3. So we can say that and in the given sample 2 we have 136 ppm of CaSO4. So in terms of CaCO3 the hardness is 100 ppm. So option B is correct. Okay, so now move on to another question. Question number 7. So it is also a numerical. 100 ml of water sample contains 0.81 gram of calcium bicarbonate and 0.73 gram of magnesium bicarbonate. The hardness of these water sample expressed in terms of CaCO3. So like in previous question we were given CaSO4. In this question we are given calcium bicarbonate and magnesium carbonate. So here in this question we use the concept that 100 ppm CaCO3 is equivalent to, now molar mass of calcium bicarbonate is given here, 162 ppm calcium bicarbonate, which is equivalent to the molar mass of magnesium carbonate. It is given here 146 ppm of magnesium bicarbonate. Now all we have to do is find out the concentration of calcium bicarbonate in terms of ppm and magnesium bicarbonate in terms of ppm, and then use this expression to find the equivalent of CaCO3. So here we have given 0.81 gram of calcium carbonate. If we convert this in milligram, then we get 8100 milligram, and and sample of water, the volume of water is given 100 ml. If I convert it in liter, then we get 100 over 1000, which is equal to 1/10 liter of is the volume of solution or sample of water. Now if I find out the concentration of calcium bicarbonate in terms of ppm, then we get 81. First we find out this in milligram per liter, then which will be automatically will equal to ppm 810 gram by 1/10 liter. So 81, okay, I made a mistake here. This is 810, because to convert it in milligram we have to multiply it with 1000, then we get 810 milligram. So now finally we get 8100 milligram per liter of concentration of calcium bicarbonate. So which is equal to 8100 ppm calcium bicarbonate. In a similar fashion we can calculate the concentration of magnesium bicarbonate. Here it is given 0.73 gram, which is equal to 730 milligram. So, and volume solution is still 1/10 liter, and in this way we find the concentration is 730 by 1/10, this is milligram, this is liter, we get 7300 milligram per liter of magnesium bicarbonate, which is equal to 7300 ppm of magnesium carbonate. Okay, now here we have given that 162 ppm of CO3 is equivalent to 1000 ppm. So this 8100 ppm will be equivalent to per what amount of CaCO3. So by unitary method we can say that 1 ppm, from here we can say that 1 ppm CaCO3 whole twice is equivalent to 100 by 162 ppm CaCO3, and 8100 ppm CaCO3 whole twice is equivalent to this much ppm of CaCO3. So if I solve it, we get 5000 ppm of CaCO3. In similar fashion, when I can calculate the equivalent of magnesium carbonate in terms of calcium carbonate, so here 146 ppm of MgHCO3 is equivalent to 100 ppm CaCO3, then 73000 ppm of MgHCO3 always is equivalent to 100 over 146 multiplied by 7300 ppm of CaCO3, which is equal to 5000 again, because if I cancel it by 2 then we get 5000 ppm of CO3. So total hardness we get due to in terms of calcium carbonate is this much and this much. So total hardness is the sum of these two concentration, 5000 plus 5000, total hardness is 10,000 ppm, of course. So our answer is option number A. Okay. So we have reached question number 8. This question is saying the temporary hardness of water is due to compound X. Boiling this compound sample converts X to compound Y. X and Y are respectively. So we know that temporary hardness is due to only two salts. One is calcium bicarbonate and other is magnesium bicarbonate. If I heat calcium carbonate bicarbonate, I get calcium carbonate as precipitate plus CO2 plus H2. And if I heat magnesium bicarbonate, I get MgOH whole twice instead of MgCO3 as a precipitate plus 2CO2. Now you guys must be thinking that when we heat calcium bicarbonate we are getting calcium bicarbonate, and when we are heating magnesium bicarbonate we are not getting magnesium bicarbonate, instead of that we are getting magnesium hydroxide. So reason of this is mentioned in NCERT in chapter hydrogen. It is because the solubility product KSP, which you guys study in ionic equilibrium, KSP solubility product of MgOH whole twice is greater than that of MgCO3 in case of magnesium. So we know that higher the solubility product, the sooner the precipitate gets formed. So instead of forming the MgCO3 we are getting MgOH whole twice because its solubility product is higher than that of MgCO3. So our option number C is correct. On heating MgHCO3 we get MgOH whole twice. On heating MgHCO3 we don't get MgCO3. So we have to beware about this. So now move on to another question. Question number 9. This question says, in comparison to the zeolite process for the removal of permanent hardness, the synthetic resin method is. Okay, to remove permanent hardness, we know that one method is zeolite process. And one more method is synthetic resin method. So we know that synthetic resin method is better than zeolite process, because in zeolite process we only exchange cationic part over salt, because we have the salt of form calcium bicarbonate or magnesium sulfate, etc. Each salt have one cationic part and one anionic part. In zeolite process only exchange of cationic part occur, and in synthetic resin method both cation as well as anionic part get exchanged to make the water pure and demineralized. This is how the reaction occur in zeolite process. We have M2 plus 2 NaZ gives rise to Mz2 plus 2 Na plus. This is obviously a zeolite NaZ, and this M2 plus can be calcium 2 positive or Mg2 positive. So from this reaction we can say that only cationic part of our salt is getting exchanged through this zeolite, and we are getting pure water, and Na plus do not cause hardness of water, so we get a sample of water free from these ions. But bicarbonate, sulfate, chloride, etc., these anions are not demineralized from the sample, so it is not that much better. But in synthetic resin method we have two chambers in which we exchange cation, and in another chamber we exchange anion. In cationic chamber the reaction occurs in this way. 2RH, this is an ionic compound, here is R minus over alkylic part, and this hydrogen have plus charge. We react with this, this is our cation exchanger. We react cation exchanger with our sample of water, where M2 plus are the cationic part of the salt responsible for hardness. When we react it with cation exchanger, we get Mr2 solid plus 2H plus aqueous. So in this way we exchange this M2 plus cationic part of salt responsible for permanent hardness, and in anion exchange we have this RNH2. First it get react with water and gives us RNH3OH minus, an ionic compound. This ionic compound acts as anion exchanger. So when we treat this anion exchanger with our sample of water, which include this X minus. This X minus is basically anionic part of our salt responsible for permanent hardness. When we react it with this anion exchanger, the reaction happens in this way. RNH3, basically an exchange reaction occurs. X minus solid, so solid means this get precipitated out, plus OH minus aqueous. The H plus released here and OH minus released here combine up and undergoes neutralization. So in this way, finally from synthetic resin method we get pure demineralized water. Demineralized water means that is free from all ions. So here X can be Cl minus, HCO3 minus, SO4 minus, which are responsible for hardness of water, etc. So we can say that synthetic resin method is more efficient as it can exchange both cation as well as anion. So correct option is option. So next question is the hardness of a water sample containing 10 raised to power minus 3 molar MgSO4 expressed as CO3 equivalent. Similar questions we have discussed previously. So concentration of MgSO4 is given 10 raised to power minus 3 molar. So we know that 10 raised to power minus 3 molar MgSO4 implies 10 raised to power minus 3 mole of MgSO4 in 1 liter of sample of water, and this 10 raised to power minus 3 mole implies weight of MgSO4 is in water sample is 10 raised to power minus 3 into molar mass of MgSO4, which is given here is 120.37, which will be equal to 120.37 milligram. Okay, and this much of MgSO4 is present in 1 liter solution. So concentration of MgSO4 we get is 120.37 milligram per liter, which is equal to 120.37 ppm, because we know that milligram per liter is equal to ppm in magnitude, and we know that ppm equal to molar mass of these salts are equivalent in hard water sample. So we have this salt MgSO4, its molar mass is 120.37, so that much amount of ppm of MgSO4 is equivalent to 100 ppm of CaCO3. This is the molar mass, 100 is molar mass of CaCO3, so that much ppm of CO3 is equivalent to this much ppm of MgSO4. So here we can so the answer of this question is 100. This is a numerical type question from 2020 mains 9 January shift 1. Okay, now we will discuss the previous year question of IIT-JEE. This is the question from 1980 IIT-JEE paper. So this question says 1 liter of a sample of hard water contains 1 milligram of CaCl2 and 1 milligram of MgCl2. Find a total hardness in terms of CaCl3 per 10 raised to power 6 parts of water by weight. So the question is asking to convert the hardness due to these two salts in terms of CaCO3 in terms in ppm. So this 10 raised to power 6 parts means that question is asking us to convert this quote the answer in ppm form. Okay, so concentration of CaCl2 we have given is 1 milligram, which is present in 1 liter solution, 1 milligram per liter, so which will be equal to 1 ppm of CaCl2. Similarly, the concentration of MgCl2 given is 1 milligram per liter of solution, which is equal to 1 ppm. Now we know that molar mass of CaCl2 is 111 and molar mass of MgCl2 is 95 gram. Now we know that the molar mass amount of ppm is of these two of the salts responsible for hardness are equivalent in the sample of water. So we can say that 1 ppm of CaCl2 is equivalent to 95 ppm of MgCl2, which will be equivalent to 100 ppm of CaCO3. So from here we can say that due to CaCl2, 1 milligram, this 1 ppm of CaCl2 is equivalent to 100 by 111 ppm of CaCO3, and this 1 ppm of MgCl2 is equivalent to 100 by 95 ppm of CaCO3 by using unitary method. So total hardness will be equal to 100 by 111 plus 100 by 95. When we solve this, we get 1.95 ppm. So this is the part B of our question number 11. This says a sample of hard water contains 20 milligram of Ca2 plus ions per liter. How many equivalent of Na2CO3 would be required to soften 1 liter of sample? Okay, so let's calculate the milli equivalent of Ca2 plus. So Ca2 plus have N factor equals to 2 and its mass is given 20 milligram. So its moles of Ca2 plus in a sample is equal to given mass upon molar mass is 40 gram, which is equal to 1 by 2 millimoles of Ca2 plus. Now Na2CO3 is used for softening this water, and the reaction happens like this: Ca2 plus Na2CO3 gives rise to CaCO3 equals to 2Na plus, and milli equivalent of Ca2 plus we can calculate by using the formula m moles into N factor, which is this is the formula for calculating number of millimoles, milli equivalent. So milli equivalent of Ca2 plus is millimoles are 1 by 2 and N factor is 2. So milli equivalent of Ca2 plus is 1. Now we know that in whole reaction the number of milli equivalents of reaction components remain equal by the gram equivalent concept. So we can say that milli equivalent of Ca2 plus will be equal to milli equivalent of this Na2CO3. So, and which is equal to 1. So answer of this question is 1. So now move on to our final question, question number 12. This is our final question which we will discuss in this session. The question is saying the reagent used for softening of temporary hardness. Now temporary hardness is due to calcium bicarbonate and due to magnesium bicarbonate. Only these two are responsible for temporary hardness. Obviously there are two methods on in which are mentioned in NCERT for removing temporary hardness. One is boiling and one is by using our this slick lime. Now if we this is not used in removing temporary hardness. When we use calcium hydroxide slaked lime, then a reaction occurs in this manner: COH whole twice gives rise to 2CaCO3 plus 2H2. So CaCO3 get precipitated out, and this way we get rid of this compound from the water sample. And when we use Na2CO3 washing soda, washing soda can remove both temporary as well as permanent hardness. But when we use it for temporary hardness, the reaction occurs in this manner. CaCO3 get precipitated out plus 2NaHCO3. Now NaOCl. This is some word which is not mentioned in NCERT, and IIT has asked this in its paper in 2010. This is something new which is not mentioned in NCERT, but still it is also a way to remove temporary hardness. The reaction occurs in this manner. This NaCl, obviously it is an ionic compound by Na plus and OCl minus. This OCl minus reacts with H2O and gives rise to 2HCl. This is an equilibrium which set up in the solution. 2HOCl plus 2OH minus. These 2OH minus reacts with our calcium bicarbonate and precipitate out this calcium as calcium bicarbonate plus CO3 2 minus, we get plus 2 minus, plus we get 2H2O. Okay, so this is the end of our session. Thank you for watching Intellectinator.